fear you gotta have. Respect.
You gotta have respect. Like my parents.
Cause you're not gonna win them back. You shouldn't at least.
My mom used to, man, I used to get beaten like 2 and 3 times a day. But my dad never really beat me. He could always come in the room, talk with the calmest voice, and just make me feel worse than getting the beating. And I've been pissy mad. I done punched holes in the wall, but I've never been to a point that I'm at my dad or at my mom or even cursing at my parents, because I had enough respect for them even in being mad. And it's not that I feared them, because I mean, I'm not scared of my dad or my mom, but I got enough respect for them that there's certain lines you're not going to cross. And now kids nowadays, they don't have the respect, but the parents feel like they can implement fear to compensate for the lack of respect that's going on.
And that's true. That is true.
I look at it like this, yo. You'll always have respect for your parents. I don't have much of a relationship with my biological mother. I don't have a great relationship. I just gotta live with her for the rest of my life. Fine with me. But I will never, honestly, I will not just blatantly disrespect them.
Never.
But it's been times with my father where I feel like we got to a point. When I was like 16. He was all in my face, bucking in my face, like year after year after year. You get tired of it. And it's not that I wanted to disrespect him, but I got in defense mode.
Right.
Like, yo, if you touch me again, it's a wrap. And it came to that point because I was tired of him threatening, calling me names. Because really, that's what brought me to the point. He kept calling in my face, spitting in my face, and calling me all these names. And it brought me to a point where I'm like, yo, I'm done. This is it. And you know what happened? After that one time I bucked, it never happened again.
It was over.
That was it. That was done. No more disrespect. No more hitting. No more none of that. It's done. Because when he see me, I rose up to a point. Like, yo, okay. If you gonna keep carrying like this, we gonna do what we gotta do. That's how it went. Not to disrespect him, but to really like, yo, look, I'm gonna protect myself in here.
Right.
Because you're not gonna kill me.
And I think that's the difference too, because it's like if you're just chastising your child because they've done wrong, and there's an understanding that the reason why this is happening is because you've done this, and it's not abuse, it's really chastisement. They'll respect you for it. But if it's a constant thing, and if it doesn't even have to go to this level, and you're taking it to this level, you told your piece and you're still going, you want something to come out of you. And I think that's where it seems like if I don't do something, man, I'm gonna be killed, or I'm gonna have to, and it's a lot of pain behind abuse. And the first reaction, I think the pain is to defend and then to cry. You get what I'm saying? And that's what happens, whether you verbally defend yourself or you physically defend yourself. But a lot of times, especially when it's a family-oriented type of abuse, the first thing you do is defend yourself. And so, it's just different. That was a different situation. Whereas the way you and your husband discipline your children, it's not going to come to a point where they feel like they got to rile up against you, or if it does, they'll know they just did something wrong. And that's why I use the example of my mother. Not that I'm terrified of my mother, but I understand that she has right to just lay me out if she want to lay me out because I'm way out of line. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, we still want to make sure, because one thing about it is no matter what our parents, and we've been through with our parents or family we had issue with, I still love my father to death. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'd do with myself if he was gone. Even though I don't have that relationship. I would never want him to leave this earth. I still love him. And that's because God had to put that love in me. He had to put that in me to bring all that hatred that I had for him at a young age. I even though I don't have much of a relationship, I still love him because he's my father. You know what I'm saying? I love him to death. I wouldn't want no hurt, harm, or anything. And right now, we got the best relationship we probably ever gonna have, and we ever had. You know what I'm saying? It's, yo, what's up? You good? Yeah, I'm good. Yada yada. That's it. And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted. And that's cool with me. But we still, no matter what we've been through, we still, when you trying to live right, can't hold that against them. You gotta love them. No matter what you've been through, whatever you gotta love that person, man. You got to.
Because you're not going to heaven.
That's right.
Yeah,
You don't love them. No matter what.
And it takes the Lord.
It has to take the Lord because it's like, it's like that. You be bitter for a long time.
Yeah.
But it takes God to really take the bitterness out of you and touch your heart because, like you said, we could say if we want to live right, we can't be mad, but if you just doing it out of obligation, you're still going to have bitterness inside of you because I did that. I wasn't mad at my dad no more because I was trying to live right. But it actually came to a point where God had to remove the bitterness and give me love. And now we have a good relationship. Then he get on the phone, he do what he did all my life. He tell lies, but now I don't look at it like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? I know you lying. I just look at it like, if that's what he want to do to make himself feel good, I'm going to let him have it, even though I know he's probably not going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's harder for females than men. I think it's so much harder because Will, you said that we should always respect our parents, but it's kind of hard to respect someone who deserves no respect.
But does anybody not deserve respect?
He don't.
Why? How can you say
Because,
that?
okay, we're talking about abuse. I wasn't there. My mom was abused. I wasn't there when my mother was being abused. I only heard about it because I was so young. And I seen a picture of my mom after, you know what I mean, she was, whatever happened. And the only reason my mom left is because my dad went away. So she left, she changed her number, her address, whatever. But I just don't feel like he deserved no respect because he never, the teachers used to always say, you gotta earn respect if you want it. What have you done to earn my respect?
That's not true. Everybody deserves respect. And that's what we gotta understand. A lot of times we didn't respect girls because they didn't respect themselves. But you come to realize that everybody deserves respect, even if she don't respect herself. Maybe you giving her respect can make her more respect herself. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you gotta look at it. I mean, I know it's tough, but at the end of the day, he brought you into this world. Without him, it would be no you. You know what I'm saying? And though he did what he did, and I don't agree with what he did, and I don't agree with how he carries it still sometimes. Everybody deserves respect. You a child of God, you know better. You held at the highest standard, and I tell you that all the time.
And that's right, but everybody, or not everybody, but a couple of y'all just said it takes God. And that's what it's gonna take, but like I said, it's different for you men because it wasn't, I mean, you had your mom and you a man. You not really, I mean.
But your mom can't teach you how to be no man.
And I didn't, okay. But I'm saying, you a man. You don't, I mean, whatever. You take it as he won't dare, forget him. Whatever. But when you are a young woman or a young lady and you grown up and you tried to talk to your father or your sister or something and he's still having ignorant remarks, it's hard to respect someone who don't deserve no respect at all.
I see what you're saying.
He asked, you know what I mean? He'll ask for my number or something like that. And I don't want, I mean, I know, but I don't, you know what I mean?
But he has hatred in his heart. And he's dealing with something. So
He already know he
already know he ain't hit no 5 cents. He already knows why he keep asking for your number, not calling me, because he don't know how he really gonna. He know your reaction. He not gonna like your reaction, or you not gonna like his reaction. But at the end of the day, what you have to do is you have to just love from afar. If he don't never call you, hey, I gotta love him from afar. You know, if he don't never want to be in your life, you know what? I have a love from afar, and that's where you get the teaching moments where I know my children will never, ever go through the experience that I went through.
But is it safe to say because you don't show them any respect that you loving them from afar?
Well, see, loving them is showing them respect.
Yeah, that's one.
Loving them so really, honestly, you haven't found that love to love. You haven't found that in your heart to love them yet. And that's something that you have to ask God to help you, because you got to get that, that jealous, that envy, that all that hatred out of your heart. Not saying that, but it could be, if you want to go higher in God, you could be right here because you just can't love that person. And God want to bring you up here, but you just stay right there. Just because you just can't find that love. And it's gonna take time. It doesn't happen overnight. It just happens through prayer. And you have to pray and just ask God, Lord, Lord, help me to love him. No matter what he did to me, help me to love him.
We do have to love everyone. That's one thing we want to keep in our minds. We have to love everybody. Now, I'm going to go into the next few short questions here. Short answers, short questions. I do see the time, trust me. How does abuse affect someone's spiritual walk? And that's my question. How does abuse affect someone's spiritual walk?
Well, Brittany kind of said it. I mean, but that's the thing. You don't want to stand before God and he said you ran well, who hindered you? And then be behind somebody who, because really to a degree, they kind of have a control over you as long as you love them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just feel like sometimes they can not only hinder you from growing in God, but growing as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How can you love anybody who wrongs you if you could never really get over, you know what I'm saying, get over that hump right there, you know what I'm saying?
And it kills me sometimes when I see people in front like, you gotta love your neighbor, and I'm like, dang, you don't even love that
and
person
it's hard
right
though.
there.
It's hard.
But you don't even love that. You can't even stand that person that's sitting next to you.
Yeah.
You don't even like them.
The Bible say, how can you love?
You don't even like
neighbor
them.
love what you
And
don't
the
see.
thing about
you can't love me,
it
you don't love
is,
me.
you know you don't like them, and they know you don't like them. That's why when you speak, they sit there just like this, because they know they can't get that connection with you. So like, it's like, how can you? But my thing, what I'm saying is, you have to find that love yourself before you get before God's people. You got to be able to find that love yourself for people. And no, people may get on your nerves. I always say, you got to like nobody. There's some people at my job I don't like, and they know I don't like them. But at the end of the day, I love them. I love them, but I don't like them. And I don't have to put up with your mess. But you know what I'm saying? And I tell you, I love you. I talk to you, but you know I don't like you. But you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to love it. And you are stagnant if you can't love. You have to love.
What the Bible says.
Love your enemies.
My thing is, go ahead, Brother Will.
The Bible, when does it say love covers a multitude of sins?
Multitudes.
Yeah.
You got to have a
Love is the key,
desire
man.
too.
That love is the key. That's what the world lacks. That's what the devil has a control on that love.
We don't love one another.
And that's why it's so easy now, and it's so quick for people just to kill. Because you could care less about what's at home for that person that's on the ground that you just shot. You don't know how many kids they got. You don't even care that they sitting there in pain. You don't even love that person. You have no love for them. That's the lack. That's the reason why there's so many people being murdered. That's the root of it. Love.
I think as far as like what you was talking about, you gotta have you seem like you had a pretty made up mind of you're not giving that man respect. So you gotta have, they say even with every miracle, if it takes a miracle for you to love your father, it's still some human participation. Like, you gotta have a desire to want to show him respect or want to love him or want to forgive him. You can't just, he don't deserve it. If you're already locked in on he don't deserve it, you're never gonna try to, it's like you'll never, I seen a post that you'll never make, but it said you'll miss 100% of the shots you never take. You can't stand in a game with the ball in your hand and just get mad about not scoring, but you never attempted a shot, you know what I'm saying? If you never put yourself out there and try, you'll never know what the results can be. Even though he's a deadbeat, I got one and I hit him up and was like, hey, and he's still on that same The same stuff he was on when I was like little, I just laugh it off, or sometimes I call him on it and then I make a joke about it, hang up. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it no more, but
you gotta try.
but you gotta have a desire to try it out.
I don't know. I
'Cause
tried before.
what if God showed that same kind of respect towards us? The Bible says while we were yet sinners, He died for us. But no.
They don't
He looked at you
deserve
like,
respect. Look at him.
you sinned 7 times this week. You don't deserve my
Yeah.
love. You don't deserve my grace. You don't deserve what I do. Matter of fact, give me my breath back. I mean, what if God looked at us the way that we view other people?
And
Where would
that's
we be
so
today?
true. And I think a lot of times, I feel like we have to be careful how we define love and make sure the way we're defining it isn't based on the world standard and putting a spiritual twist on it. Because I think that's what happens a lot today, and I think that's why it's a lot of division that can come up in the ministry, is because we have that mentality outside of the church. So then when things start happening, when we come into disagreements, when we're trying to work in unity, we're trying to be on the same page, but then somebody has said something that offended me, they may know they offended me, and they may not know that they offended me. And my reaction is to love you from afar. And loving from afar, you have to be very careful that the other person is okay with the loving from afar, because you could be loving from afar and hurting that person still. So you don't even realize that there's a blockage there, and then and it's you don't want to be causing a lot of pain and anguish, because I feel like to really love somebody, I'm gonna get past what you did to me. We're gonna be able to come together. We're gonna be able to try to restore. God said He's a restorer of the breach, and that's the breach in relationships, the breach in financial problems, the breach in whatever there is. But a lot of time, because of our flesh, we don't let breaches get back mended. You get what I'm saying? And so you just have to